Welcome in, Bears fans. Fan Art Sports, Bears latest. I'm Dan Levy. Bear down, and the Green Bay Packers suck. I don't care who they got on that team. They stink, and so is the cheese that they ride in on. Welcome into the show. Big one today. A lot of things going on as we prepare for this weekend's matchup when the Bears head to Detroit to face the Lions, and we're going to prepare for that. But before we put to bed what happened on Monday night, Caleb Williams spoke to the media, and here's what he had to say on his overall performance on Monday Night Football in front of the world.
It's frustrating because, like I said, after the game, is like you did everything up to that point right, and then you missed a pass. And it's frustrating. And that's something that we practice on, something that we get after, and something that I'm going to keep, getting after, keep correcting. It's passes that I feel that I typically don't miss in those, moments and situations, and especially with, some of the passes being what they were and how wide open, and you miss and you move on and you correct, and you find ways to get better.
He's right about that. You got to make the adjustments. You got to do some things. It was frustrating that first half, that first drive was so good. If you watch back that film of Monday Night Football and watch Caleb Williams, what he did on that very first drive, as a Bears fan, yes, that was awesome. Came out, got things going, pace was fast, threw for the touchdown, first time in like 3 years since a Bears quarterback did an opening drive and scored on that. Watching him orchestrate an offense, watching him move with the ball when the play breaks down, and things of that nature. And then, after the first half, it broke down. It got worse. I'm not sure if it's tired, but it became inaccuracy throws. It became the lack of a run game, and it became a very tired offensive line that started allowing for the same mistakes. Pre-snap penalties, another thing that hurt the Bears. That is something that he did not quickly address, but he did say in one part that next time when they're in the huddle, he's going to speak a little louder. To the guys, to the big boys in the front line. Caleb needs to speak a little louder to you guys. We're going on the third hike, or the fourth, whatever he says. Keep that in your brain. That's why you're in the NFL. That's why you're making more money than all of us. Yes, it's a sport where you're getting your head bashed in, and I am sorry for that, but you are playing for it. You signed up for it. You're getting paid for it. Listen to what the snap count is. Do not cost your offense any more than it has to. This game means a lot. And yes, whether or not you believe it or not, Caleb, the running game is important. He spoke on that as well.
Coach Johnson said that he needs to call more run plays, and that's what he needs to do. It's not a me thing. It's not a my decision. I think part of it is I think we had in the first half, our run efficiency in the first half wasn't as good compared to our second half and how we picked it up, and I think that's what he's going off of in that situation. But other than that, if he said that he needs to call more, that's what he needs to do. I know that as a quarterback, if we run the ball efficiently, it helps my job become not necessarily easier, but opens up more lanes and things like that for me, because now people have to come up and the defenders have to come up and defend the run a little bit more heavily, and allows us to take maybe a few more shots or anything like that. So if that's what Ben said, and Coach Johnson said that's what he feels he needs to do. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, you need to run the freaking ball, dude. It's not because you're just a good quarterback. It's because you need to establish a run game to keep the defense honest. You need to keep the pressure off of you. It's basic and simple. This is what we were clamoring for in the offseason. You need a running game, dog. It can't be on you. That's why we said DeAndre Swift might not be enough. That's why we said Roschon Johnson probably isn't enough. And that's why we said Kyle Monangai could get cut, because we need to bring in somebody that can help establish a run game. Every good NFL team that's going to go to the Super Bowl can run the freaking football. Hence Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, the Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, any team out there that is worth a you-know-what has a run game. That's why the Lions were so freaking explosive, because they had Jared Goff, they had wide receivers, and they had a 1-2 combination running game featuring David Montgomery, who I wish was back in a Bears uniform for this very reason. Caleb, you can run the ball. I don't want you running the freaking football, man. When a play breaks down, I get it. I want you to be able to do stuff. I want to see the generational stuff that people claim you have. but you need to establish that run game more than you will ever know. This is the NFL. This isn't USC. This isn't college football. It's not Pop Warner. You can't be the guy that dominates the game, and you're seeing that. And yes, this is only game one. We are a lot of hip reaction to just game one, and I get that. But as far as everything else goes, when you talk about what this game means and how this one's going to all play off, it's just a hard thing to watch. It's one of those things where you watch it and you just kind of cringe. It is what it is. So we move on. Detroit versus Chicago, the preview is coming up. The odds are starting to get a little different. Right now, Vegas odds, some have the Lions favored by 6. The Bears money line plus 230, the over-under. Experts are picking a lot of lines going on that way, and some of it is because, A, head coach Ben Johnson, no longer the offensive coordinator. Detroit in a bounce-back spot, especially with the Bears on a short week. Chicago knows Detroit's defense, but says the Bears' second half collapse was telling. Also, experts are saying that Caleb Williams keeps overthrowing open receivers. He's fading the Bears, which means his inaccuracy is affecting Vegas odds. Chicago showed promise early versus Minnesota and won't be as inconsistent week 2, some are saying. And also some are saying that the Bears should be okay. Another Bears blown lead, but sees Chicago keeping it close enough to cover. If you watch that game, even if you watch the first half, even when they got that pick 6, I'll go back to that. It was still a tight 17-6 game. J.J. McCarthy was playing like garbage up until then. And it wasn't until then when we said to ourselves, it's still reachable. The Bears aren't blowing anybody out. J.J. McCarthy was having a rough game, but it did not take much to get that game going. Like I've told other people before, I've told my kid, and I've told other, when I coach players in basketball, football, it's a game of numbers. They were down at 17-6. That's a touchdown and a field goal away from winning the game. And they came back and they did that. It's just a matter of being practical. We want to still see the Bears doing smart plays. And again, a lot of that has to do with it. This team is still not there to be a contender yet. Yes, again, it's just week 1 that we're talking about here. But are they ready to be contenders? No. Is that defense strong enough? Their injuries will say right now, no. Secondary is beat up. Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Josh Blackwell, all questionable. Jalen did play, did practice yesterday, but rookie running back Rashawn Johnson, or second-year running back Rashawn Johnson, also banged up. O-line issues, Taylor Decker questionable, plus the linebacker and cornerback stuff. Those are injuries that are really affecting the odds, and that's what we're talking about here. Here's what I do like seeing going on. The Lions are just as banged up as the Bears. They took it on the chin hard against the Packers. Hilarious at that. I'm going to laugh about that one because the Bears aren't playing the Packers yet, and I can still scream out that they stink. But the Lions did not look like the same team, but they are coming back to Detroit. They are coming back. And again, for a lot of people out there, they are saying that this is almost like a playoff game. The Lions were embarrassed. The Bears collapse at home was embarrassing against the Vikings, both coming in 0-2. Both trying to carry playoff hopes fast and trying to keep those going. Ben Johnson, it's not just any game to him. He's returning to the place that he left to show that he was better than everybody that he is and that he could be the best coach out there. Dan Campbell isn't sugarcoating it. He's saying we're going to win this game. We have to. He knows these guys. Dan Campbell knows this offense. He knows the Ben Johnson offense. Ben Johnson knows the Lions offense and their defense. So what is going to happen with this one? They're going to do just that. Johnson is the head coach, burning and trying to get out there and trying to do their things and trying to show that he is the better coach. It's going to be a great game. This isn't just a regular game. It's not just your average division game. Johnson versus Campbell, past versus present, desperation versus desperation. One team will walk out 1-1, and the other is going to go 0-2, staring at a mountain, and a lot of media members out there to chat about it. What's going to happen? I don't know, but we are here for it. We're going to preview more of this coming up. This has been Bears Latest. I'm Dan Levy. Let me know your thoughts below. What are your thoughts going into this game? Are the Lions being favored by 6 way too much and way too telling what's going on? Do you have little faith in the Bears? What are your thoughts going into this matchup versus the Lions and the Chicago Bears? Once again, I'm Dan Levy, Bears Latest. Fan Art Sports reminding you once again, when all else fails, the Green Bay Packers suck. Peace.